Right now we're going to practice doing inequality, hot spots for inequalities, and then we're going to graphing inequalities. Alright, so here's the equation. 4x plus 5y equals 20 is shown in the grid. What points are in the solution? Alright, so we're going to click the actual ordered pair, and we're going to figure out which one would be in the solution set. That means that it makes the inequality true. So we're going to use the graphing calculator to help us out. And we're going to do the first ordered pair. This is negative 2 and 4. So we're trying to see if that's going to be in the inequality. Remember, we cannot type in the inequality. It won't work for us. And I'll show you in a minute how you know that. Because you will get that, and if you do the less than symbol on the keyboard, it gives you this message. Plotting inequalities is disabled, so you can't have that. So you figure out, hey, that's 12. Is 12 less than 20? Yes, it is. So I would select that ordered pair. Now I go to the next one. 4, 0, because that's the y-intercept, plus 5 times 4. That equals 20, but this says it has to be less than 20, so that was not an answer. Alright, I go to my next one. 4 times 1, the ordered pair is 1 comma 4, plus 5 times 4. That gives me 24. 24 is not less than 20, so that can't be it. Go to the next ordered pair. 4, negative 1. So 4 times 4 plus 5 times negative 1. This is 11. 11 is less than 20, so those are my 2 points. Here's the graph, which selects 2 correct answers, so we're going to do the same thing, the ordered pairs, to figure out which one is greater than. So let's get the keyboard. Alright, it wants greater than, so we're going to erase these. If our first answer choice is 5, the first ordered pair is negative 6, 6, plus 6, 6. Is that greater than 30? No, it's not. Alright, we go to the next one. 0, 5. So 5, 0, plus 6, 5. That gives me 30, but that's not greater than 30. So then it's still 5, 0, and that's 9. 54, that's greater than 30. Okay, next ordered pair. 5, that's 5, and 6. 61, that's greater than 30. So that would be my 2 ordered pairs. Alright, next one would be same thing, but it's less than. So if you keep noticing, the first one was less than, and the dots were down here at the bottom. And this was greater, and it was above the line. So let's see what happens if we just choose the 2 ordered pairs that are below. Alright, let's see if those were going to work. You always want to double check your work and make sure that it follows and makes the inequality true. So 5 times, that's negative 4, plus 6 and 2. Is that less than 30? Yes, it is. Alright, then we do the other one. 5 times 0, plus 6 times 0. Is that less than 30? Yes, it is. And so I select those 2. Alright, next thing wants us to select which one is greater than or equal to. So we're going to do the exact same thing, plugging into the ordered pairs into the inequality, seeing what this time it's okay for it to be less than or equal to it. So the first one is 0 to 4. So 8, 0, plus 10, 4. We're going to see if that equals 40 or is less than 40. That equals 40. Go to the next ordered pair. 2 and negative 1. Negative 1, up, 10. That is less than or equal to 40, so that would be it. Alright, next ordered pair said which was going to be the solution set. So, let me see, it doesn't have the writing option. Alright, what I usually tell my students is to look at 10y is less than or equal to 40, divided by 10, and that's going to be y is less than or equal to 4. So I go to 4 and I won't be less than 4. So that means I'm going to be below the green line. I go to 4y is greater than or equal to 12 divided by 4, y is greater than or equal to 3. So here's 3. I want to be above the 3. So that means I would be above the blue line. Alright, so green was below down here, either one of these two, and yellow was blue was above. Green was below these two, blue was above either these two. The ones that overlap is these two, this one right here, and that's the one where the shading would be. Alright, I want you to identify what the solution would be. Alright, so it says less than. Here's f of x. Let's say it would be below the green, so it would be these two right here. Remember, I'm not touching the line unless it's a solid line, and this is a dotted. It's supposed to be because there's no line underneath it. The g of x says less than, so I'm less than these two. Less than this would be these two, but the only one that overlaps is this one, and then the one that's on the actual solid line, that's purple, would be this one. Because it could be a solution if it's on a solid line. Remember, the green is supposed to be dashed, so you can't be on it. It would not be a solution. Alright, let's see. Next one, last one. Shading, same thing. This is less than. F of x is supposed to be a dotted line, so that means none of the solutions can be on that line. And it needs to be less, so I'm looking at all 3 dots down here. Right. The next equation is g of x. G of x wants to be greater. So I said I was looking at these 3 for below. Greater would be looking at these 2 above. And because it has the equal to sign, that means it could be on that line. Can't be on the blue line, because the blue line is supposed to be dashed, but it can't be on the g of x, the orange line. Now we're going to pause here and go to the next one, the system of inequalities. Alright, so here we have system of inequalities we're going to practice. Okay. You're graphing 2 lines. Let's say you forgot how to do your slope and your y-intercept. So you would just type in the equation without the inequality symbol. It only wants you to do whole numbers. So you click on these 2 and they're whole numbers, so that means I can go ahead and graph it. So it was positive 2 and negative 4. Positive 2, negative 4, and it draws the line for you, matches this. And then we want it to be equal to, so it's still a solid line. Alright, we go to the next equation. Negative 2x minus 3. Notice that x-intercept is a decimal, so we can't graph those on here. So we hit the table. All I did was hit settings and table, and now I look for 2 ordered pairs I can do. Negative 2, 1, and negative 1, negative 1. So what I have to do first is make sure that I select line B. Then it was negative 2, 1. There we go. And then negative 1, negative 1. So you push this up. And there it goes. And then see, it doesn't have a line underneath it, so that means that this needs to be changed to dash. Right. Now I click on solution set so I can figure out which shading part I need to. Right. First one says it's less than, so it should be below the blue line, so it's either one of these 2. You need to unselect it. Either one of these 2. And then green line says it should be less, so it should be below the green line, which would be this one. Next one. Alright, let's try this without using decimals. Like, how would we do this? Alright, the first one is plus 4, so I would go 2 plus 4. And then it's down 2 boxes, 1, 2, and over 3 boxes. And there's my line, and it should be a dash line. Right? Okay, click on the solid. Alright, This was the standard form, so I do the cover-up method. I do 5x is equal to 20 divided by 5 on both sides, and x will be 4. So here's a dot for 4. Right? I do 4y is equal to 20. I divide by 4. The y is 5. So here it is. And it's supposed to be a solid line. Alright. Oh, I clicked out of it. Sorry. Let's see if we had it. And it was this one. 4, down 2, 3. There's a dash. This one. Go here. It was 4. And then 5. And then we hit solution set. This one said it was less than, so below the blue, and this one was greater above, so it'd be this part right here. Notice that all I did was look at the 4x, the 4y, and 5x. 4y is not going to, it's a positive 4, so it's not going to change the symbol at all. Alright, let's see. We haven't done this one. Alright, so we're going to do this cover-up method. Negative 3 goes into 12, negative 4. Negative 4 goes into 12, negative 3. So here's that one. And it's a solid line. Here is negative 5. That's my y-intercept. And I'm going to go up 2 and over 3. And it's supposed to be a dashed line. The next two we're going to do with Desmos, just to make sure you guys understand that either way you do it will be correct. Right? This one was a negative 4y, so when I divide, that's going to flip the symbol, so I want it to be greater, so I'm going to look at the top of the blue line. Alright? And then the green one was greater, so I want to be on top of the green line, so it would be my intersection here. Alright, let's do this one again. We'll do Desmos for this one. So y equals negative x minus 2. My 2 points, negative 2 and negative 2. So negative 2. Scroll up. Negative 2. And then it's supposed to be a solid line, so that's fine. Now I need to select line B. And line B was negative 5x plus 2. Let's change that. And it's 5, 2, and that's 0.4. So I can't do that. I go to gear table, and this only goes to 8, so negative 1 and 7, positive 7, and then 0, 2, and it's supposed to be a solid line as well. Alright, so I close this out, figure out where the shading is going to be. So it's supposed to be less than, so it's below the blue line, so these two spots, this one with this one right here, these two spots. And then it's supposed to be greater than the green, so I need to be above the green, so it would be on this part. Alright, and we did that one in the very beginning. So now let's look at this one. Alright, and this one I'm just going to let you try on your own, and then I'm going to show you and see if you can figure out how it would be. Hopefully you tried to figure this out, and so I'm going to go